Hi, and welcome everyone to another edition of Tina's Take on AI. We have been speaking with different business owners from across the country and talking a little bit about how they're using AI in their businesses. And then we've also been we're going to go through a variety of different industries. We started with education, we've been moving to small business right now. And what I find really fascinating and interesting is that everyone that I've spoken to is using AI in different ways, and so that's what makes this series so fascinating. This is sponsored by the Growth Stack AI, which brings growth strategies and AI implementation to businesses to increase growth and productivity. So with that, I'm really proud today to introduce Bobby Brucksch of Brucksch and Sons. And Bobby's going to talk a little bit about his business and then how he's using AI, and he's using it in a variety of different ways, which is different to a lot of other firms that I've spoken to. So I'm really excited to introduce Bobby and on today's call. And Bobby, why don't you talk a little bit about your business and how long you've been in business, for example, where you're located, and we'll take it from there. And I'm sure I'll ask questions as we go along.
Good. Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Tina. Really appreciate you inviting me on here and look forward to talking a little bit about how we're using AI. We've been in business for 13 years. We are located out in Pasadena, Maryland. And so we're over on the East Coast, right on the Chesapeake Bay, and we focus on kitchens, bathrooms, and home additions. We do remodeling of all types. We do a little bit of light commercial work, but we mainly focus on that residential side.
And how long does a project last generally for you?
Typically, our projects, so the smaller ones are the bathrooms, they're going to be running about 3 weeks,
Yeah.
typically. And then as you go up in scope, you go up in project size, you go up in time. So some of our projects can be 6 to 8 months plus, maybe up to a year, depending on the size of it. But I would say our average is about 4 to 6 months.
Yeah. And you said kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels, etc. Is that correct? Or additions sound like they would be long.
Yeah, the home additions are the ones that are a little bit longer. And that's usually, for us, that's going to include some sort of bathroom. It's usually like a master suite or kitchen where we're going to be adding living space and kind of having that eat-in kitchen or
Yeah.
just extra space for a kitchen. So
And then on your team, obviously you use subcontractors and then you have a home team. Like how many people do you have in your team? I figure you could probably run that fairly lean because it's all subs, right? It's all sub staff.
we run very lean. So we have myself, a general management of the company, and then I have a project manager and I have a sales manager, and the three of us pretty much, as of right now, run everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. And how many projects do you do at a time, roughly?
We typically run anywhere from 3 to 5 projects at one time.
And roughly how many subs do you have on each project? I'm more
Yikes.
interested, just curious.
Really depends on the project, but typically I would say you're going to be around 5 subs per project until you start getting into some of the more specialty stuff. Then you could have more more subs there. But we have our general subs that are the specialty licenses, the HVAC, plumbing, electrical. Those are all licenses that we can't carry as a general contractor or a home improvement contractor here in Maryland. So those are our three that every job gets. And then obviously you have your carpenters and your tile guys, your drywall finishers, and painters and stuff like that. So
And how are you using AI for outreach? Are you using it for management? Like, where are you using AI currently? Because it
we're
feels like
using
that
AI.
type of business.
Yeah, so we're using AI for follow-ups to customers. we're using AI for follow-ups to subcontractors. We also use it for our sales side, where we're able to basically have something take notes for us,
Yeah.
create, a professional follow-up, and then we can also implement that into our to-dos, our task list. So when you're having a 45-minute to an hour long conversation with a customer, you forget a lot over that 45 minutes to an hour. You forget a lot of stuff that you say you're going to do, and it's not intentional. It's just what
Yeah.
happens, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, that, I know. So
yeah, yeah.
you
So
note takers. You use note takers.
the
Is
note
that what you?
takers, yes, the note takers have been a huge game changer for us in the office as well as out on the road and on job sites.
Yeah.
Um, it's very nice to be able to have that note taker, which we use Claude. That's been one of our go-tos for the note taking side, and then obviously put that into Chat GPT and let that kind of work from there. And that's been a game changer for us. So it's
Yeah.
brought a different level of professionalism to our company. It's brought a lot more organization uh, to our company because we're able to keep things in line. And when one person says, "I'm going to do this," it automatically sends to everybody else that this is going to go into our system. So we also use JobTread, which is our CRM and our project tracking system, and everything really integrates there so that we can have a conversation. We can have AI create the to dos and the task list, and then we can put that right into JobTread, and we have everything flow right from there.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask you what your CRM is because it's great to have it integrated into so that everyone can see it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And on the lead generation side, are you using AI for that too?
So we haven't really dug into the lead generation side as much. I have a VA, a virtual assistant, that does all of our marketing stuff. Some of the stuff he is using AI, especially for research side, where he's just
Yeah.
trying to, dig in and figure out what are people looking for. What makes sense to post on Facebook. Kind of a they ask you answer type situation where we're going to really we want to know our customers, we want to know what they're looking for so that we can provide that answer. I think that's about the extent of the lead generation that we've used AI for as of right now. I know that there is so many layers of AI and so much impact that it can have for a business like us, especially really for any business, but especially for contracting. There's so much that it can do for us because let's be honest, most contractors are very similar to myself, ADHD, squirrel moment. We always forgetting something. So having those note takers, having
Yeah.
that task list, having something that can build out a task list, even when it's I've had assistants. I have another virtual assistant that does kind of our back end stuff as far as keeping me straight. But I still have to tell them what to do, right?
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily part of my meetings. They're not necessarily part of anything that's going on, in my day to day. Where I can have that AI kind of tracking my day, and at the end of the day, say summarize my day and tell
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
what I told people I would do because I want to do it. Right? If
Yeah.
I tell you I want to do it, I want to do it, and sometimes it's just that I forget because whatever,
Well, you're
and then I
jumping.
have to be reminded. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I find it remarkable because I use the note taker. It audits me. It makes sure I might have forgotten to say something,
Right.
and it would be like, hey, you didn't say that. It's like, oh, darn, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, I find that you know, AI, the uses, especially in the research area, it's a tool that we've never had access to before. The amount of
Right.
the information that you can find It goes way beyond Google searches, like which is what we really had until recently, right? So now you do a very deep dive into a particular topic and understand motivations, objections, etc. So it's a game changer.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
you can
really,
also use it to analyze what you did, right? Some
yeah,
of our sales calls, so on
yeah,
the sales side, we're using it to figure out how we can get better at solving customers' problems.
yeah,
We're not salesy people. We don't want to
yeah.
push product on anybody. We want to solve a problem that you have. That's what we're here for, and we want to make sure that that's what we're doing. So we'll use some of the notes from our calls, and we'll go back and how can we improve? What should we have asked? What should we have not asked? What should we have touched on a little more? And tonality too, because you hear things one way, and when you have a very unbiased opinion, being AI, right? It'll tell you where
Yeah.
you were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the growth track just rolled out a sales analyzer exactly that does that. It tells you exactly what you did wrong, well, what you did right, what the tone was, like somebody says, "Oh, I want to listen more," and tells you exactly how much you listened versus talking, etc. So it's really really helpful and very exciting as a new rollout. Um, in terms of your sales process, do you use AI at all in that? Like just in terms, I know we just talked about tone, but I'm sure you're using it to create presentations and things like that. I'm assuming,
We are.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so all of our follow-up phone calls, so we start every project with an initial phone call, consult, where we go through everything with the customer, and then we use AI to summarize that, and like I said, still kind of create that task list, but also throw back to the customer what we said and what they said, so that it's a good, clear path to the next step.
And then messaging, how do you maintain that consistency of messaging?
So when it comes to messaging back to customers, is that what you're
Well,
asking?
I mean, like the brand messaging, who's doing you said your VA is doing the marketing side, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, so you have like one consistent message that represents the brand. That's kind of what you're doing, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And
And
we
then
don't do a whole lot with AI on that side
on the
yet.
marketing side, yeah. What about financials? I know it's like there's so many ways to use AI. You have to find the ones that are most impactful, the quickest, I think, initially. And finance, are you using it in any way to run your financials to
We
keep
are
on top?
not right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would say we are on kind of the cutting edge of the AI, but we're not even close to implementing to the fullest.
Well, I think that a lot of firms, like we just talked about, they find um, the highest impact AI first, right? So, what is the highest impact for you? It's going to be organizational skills, right? You need AI to help organize the projects, organize the meeting, organize all of the logistics around delivery. Is kind of what you're saying, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the highest objective for you right now. Um, and I think that makes complete sense, right? You start with how do I deliver my services more efficiently in a way that resonates with clients, right? Because it's all about the client service ultimately. Everything we do is client service, right? That's kind of every business, doesn't matter how big or small, it's all
Yeah.
about client service, right?
That's right.
Basically. Um,
That's what
uh,
keeps them coming back.
Exactly. I mean, we all live and die off referrals. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You selling witches, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You
Matter.
still need people to come back. You need people to talk good about you, and you
Right.
need people to come back. And that's one of the biggest things for us in our industry is communication. That's what we get
Yeah.
the majority of complaints from customers. That because we always ask, have you ever had a project like this done before? And if so, what did they do that we shouldn't do? What did they do that you didn't like so we don't repeat it? And almost every single time, it's lack of communication. So having that AI and having something that you can really automate so that we don't have to think about it either, right? You click from one section to the next and it automatically sends out a message saying, "Hey, your project's been updated to blah 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 blah." And
Yeah.
it helps to just keep that line of communication so that at the end of the day, the easiest part of the job is communicating, but for some reason we make it so difficult and we just don't do it. And that's what makes people mad at the
Well,
end of the day.
yeah, I mean, it's probably the biggest differential between you and your competitors, right? Because most, if you're not using a tool that does do it for you, it's a big effort to do. So, I would think that a lot of other firms are not doing it the way that you are.
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference. I think a huge difference. Um, so it's really interesting. You're using it very efficiently, and many, and you, as you said, you just started. How long did you implement this system? How long
So I would
ago?
say it's only been maybe 6 months to a year that we've really
Yeah,
been using things and just kind of starting to dig in. And honestly, the for the sales side, for the sales calls, that was kind of a fluke thing. I started kind of on my phone. It would allow me to kind of record and go into the notes. It took our conversation, put it into notes. And then I was like, man, this is actually pretty cool. And then that's when I started looking into a lot of the other stuff and then started digging
yeah,
into the chat GPT and, and then, like I said, just really starting to dig in and learn about AI because you hear about it, but you don't really, unless you need
yeah,
it or you start using it, and then you can see the benefits of it, you really don't pay too much attention to it. So, so then I just started digging in more, and then it's like, wow, I can use this here, and then I can use this here, and here, and here, and and then talking to people like you that have more knowledge on it, then you're really like, wow, I am nowhere even close. I'm not even, I thought I was like
yeah.
maybe 60, 80%. No, I'm
Oh no.
probably like 10%. If that, I may not even be 10%.
Well, but the beauty is it doesn't have to be everything, right? It can be
Right.
the highest, like we said, the highest value points. Like, where's the highest value points? That's where it makes sense to implement it quickly, right? Once you've got it, then now you understand the power of it. And it's like, oh, it's just going to make my day so much easier. I'm like, why did I not do this 6 months ago?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. And
I
something that
know.
I actually found out yesterday, by accident. I love to learn by accident, apparently. Is I had my note, my plod on all day long. Didn't even realize it. And it was recording all day long. So then, at the end of my work day, I realized it was on and I said, well, let me just see what it does. Summarize my day. So, and it went through, little conversations with the kids. And went through, highlights of conversations with my employees. But then also my phone calls and everything else. So I was like, wow, I can just turn this thing on as soon as I get in the office and then I don't have to worry about, even little background things where I'm like, yeah, Matt, I can take care of that. And then it's like it goes in one ear and out the other, and I forget. Um, and it just picked that up, and it's like you told Matt you would do this, right? And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
cool, I can do that. So that it's cool.
it's
It's
great.
it's a very cool,
Yeah.
neat tool.
I'm so excited that you found this because I mean, I'm talking to a lot of different companies and some of them are very nervous about it.
Yeah,
What does it mean? How does it work? And I think, it's everybody's going to do it at their own pace and there's no right way or wrong way. It's really about, where you think the opportunity lies. Like, we talk about growth, we talk about efficiency, we talk about streamlining, but all of those are just words if you don't. figure out what's the way you're going to actually use it. You know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
I
you
can
have
give
to
you a lot
implement.
of really, it's like, how are you going to use it to make your day better, basically?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's you have to start in order to be able to figure it out. You have to
Yeah,
start and you have to use it and you have to figure out
yeah,
from there. It's definitely one of those things that you have to start using it to figure out how to use it.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, I'm going to say thank you so much, Bobby, for being on today. It's been a pleasure. I think that you are ahead of a lot of the companies that I've been talking to. They're all kind of like, well, we know it's there, but we have no idea how to use it, right? And that's really where somebody like me comes in, where I'm able to say, okay, these are the spots where you can use it. But I also feel like, what we talked about is you want to use it for the optimal the biggest pain point first, just because that gives you, it builds your confidence in your ability to use it. And because you're going to see immediate return. Like, so that's really important as well. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being on. Any closing remarks or any way that people can reach out to you? I will post your information when I post it up on. It'll be on Spotify and on YouTube.
Okay.
And I really appreciate the time today. And I'm going to say thank you, and we'll look forward to the next session. So, Bobby, if you could stay on a moment, thank you.
Thank you.